Hello students, I hope you all are doing well. In this video, we will continue with the first chapter in Science 1, that is Laws of Motion. And in this video, we will learn few more concepts related to motion. Let us learn about uniform and non-uniform linear motion. Uniform linear motion is when an object covers equal distance in equal time interval. And when an object covers unequal distance in equal time interval, it is said to be moving with a non-uniform speed. Let us understand this with an example. Amar, Akbar and Anthony are traveling in different cars with different velocities. Here in the table, distance covered by Amar, Akbar and Anthony are given and the time is also given. So here in the first column, we can find the time interval is given. If you look carefully, there is an interval of 30 minutes. First it is 5, then 5:30, then 6, then 6:30 and so on. Distance covered by Amar, distance covered by Akbar and distance covered by Anthony is given. At 5 o'clock, they all are at 0 kilometers. And at 5:30, if we will see, Amar has covered 20 kilometers, Akbar has covered 18 kilometers, and Anthony has covered 14 kilometers. At 6 o'clock, Amar has covered 40 kilometers, Akbar has covered 36, Anthony has covered 28. At 6:30, Amar is at 60, 42 and 42. 7, 80, 70 and 56. At 7:30, 100, 95 and 70. And at 8, 120, 120 and 84. Now, have you been able to understand anything from this table, children? If you will look at this distance covered by Amar, you will find that the distance is being covered for every half an hour, 20 kilometers are added. At 5:30, he was at 20, 6 o'clock, he was at 40, 6:30, he is at 60, 7 o'clock, he is at 80. But same if you look for Akbar, the, the distance which is covered is not equal. At 5:30 he was at 18, then at 6 he was at 36, then 6:30 he was at 42, then 7 he was at 70 and so on. And here if you'll see for Anthony, he is covering 14 kilometers at 5:30, then 28 kilometers at 6, 42 kilometers at 6:30. So that means Anthony is covering 14 kilometers in half an hour and Amar is covering 20 kilometers in half an hour, whereas Akbar's kilometers are not constant. It is randomly changing at every point. Now, let us answer a few questions. What is the time interval between the notings of distance made by Amar, Akbar and Anthony? So, what is the time interval here, children? It is 30 minutes. Who has covered equal distance in equal time intervals? So, only Akbar and Anthony had covered equal distances. Here he has covered 20 in every half an hour and he has covered 14 kilometers every half an hour. Are all the distances covered by Akbar in the fixed time interval same? Are they same, children? No. First he is covering 18, then is covering 36 and so on. So his time intervals are not same. Considering the distance covered by Amar, Akbar and Anthony is fixed time interval, what can you say about their speed? So what can we say is that Amar and Anthony are traveling with uniform speed, whereas Akbar is traveling with a non-uniform speed. Why? Because the distance covered is not equal. Here the distance covered was equal and even in Anthony's the distance covered was equal. So by this we come to know that if an object covers equal distance in equal time interval, that is he is covering equal distances with an equal time interval, then it is said to be moving with a uniform speed. And if it is not covering equal distances in equal time interval, it is said to be moving with a non-uniform speed. Let's understand acceleration. Now, Acceleration is the rate of change of velocity. Let's understand this with the example. Have you ever observed a ball rolling down through a channel? Well, if you observe it carefully, the velocity is not same at all the point. It changes at every point. The velocity increases as the ball rolls down. Let me give you a simple example of this. You must have all played on a slide in a park. You know that while sliding down, the velocity is less at the top. It increases in the middle and becomes zero towards the end. This is called as acceleration. That is the rate of change of velocity. Initially, the velocity will be something else and finally the velocity is something else. This is called as the acceleration, that is change of velocity. So, acceleration is the change in velocity upon time. That is change in velocity in the given time. Now, if we consider initial velocity as u, initial is the starting velocity when you are starting to slide down. So that means initially the velocity is considered as u and finally it is considered as v and time is noted by t. So the formula for acceleration becomes acceleration is given by a final velocity minus initial velocity. This is the change in velocity, that is from final to initial. What is the change in velocity it is happening? So final velocity minus initial velocity upon time. So A is equal to final velocity is v, initial velocity is u upon time. So v minus u upon t is called as the acceleration. Now student, as we have uniform linear motion and non-uniform linear motion, we also have uniform acceleration and non-uniform acceleration. It is almost same. The velocity changes by equal amount in equal time intervals. The object is said to be in uniform acceleration. And if the velocity changes by unequal amounts in equal time intervals, the object is said to be in non-uniform acceleration. Let us now understand positive, negative and zero acceleration. So, when an object have positive or negative acceleration, when do we come to know that? When the velocity of an object increases, the acceleration is positive. So, whenever the velocity will increase, the acceleration will always be positive. When the velocity of the object decreases, it has negative acceleration or deceleration. And if the velocity of the object does not change, it is called as zero acceleration. So when it increases, it is called as positive acceleration. When the velocity will decrease, it is called as negative acceleration. And when the velocity of the object does not change, it remains constant. It is called as zero acceleration. It can be remembered in a simple manner, that is if it is increases, positive, if decreases, negative, and if nothing happens, zero. So students, in this video, we learned about uniform linear motion, non-uniform linear motion, acceleration, uniform acceleration, non-uniform acceleration, positive, negative, and zero acceleration. In the next video, we will be learning how to make different graphs of uniform and non-uniform linear motion and acceleration. I hope you all understood. Thank you for listening. Until then, take care of yourself and stay safe. Bye-bye.